Good day everyone, we are the group 2 and today we will present our ethics report on chapter 2, the man as a person. To better understand this topic, we prepared a short real life scenario that shows how a person think, choose, and act responsibly.
The exam is current. Just copy the answer. No one will notice.
I'm not sure. Cheating feels wrong, but I want to really pass this exam.
This situation shows that man is a complex being. Man is not only made of a physical body, but also has intellect and emotion. Because of this, man is capable of thinking and feeling before making decisions.
But if I cheat, I might pass this exam today. But I'll lose my honesty and self-respect.
Man as a person means that every human being has dignity and value. A person is rational, which means he can think and reason. He is also free, meaning he can choose his actions. However, with freedom comes responsibility. Every action has consequences.
You know what? I'll choose to be honest. I will take the exam without ever cheating.
I respect your decision.
Man as a person means that every human being has dignity and value. A person is rational, which means he can think and reason. He is also free, meaning he can choose his actions. However, with freedom comes responsibility. Every action has consequences.
Good day everyone, I am Lady Heart Felizardo and today we will explore one of the most profound and personal topics in ethics, the man as a person. I'm delving into the profound essence of human existence within the framework of ethics and moral philosophy. So, bakit nga ba kailangan natin pag-aralan ang konsepto ng tao bilang person? Simple lang, para mas maintindihan natin ang ating sarili. Hindi lang bilang estudyante o anak, kundi bilang moral agent na may kakayahang pumili, mag-isip, at magpakatao na may responsibilidad. Kasi po, hindi po tayo simpleng hayop na susunod lang. Hindi rin tayo machine na puro logic. Tayo ay komplikadong nilalang na may katawan, isip, puso at kaluluwa. At sa complexity na to, naroroon ang pinagmulan ng moral na pagkatao. Who is man? Man is a complex organism, a unique blend of physical, intellectual, and emotional components. A complex organism composed of a physical body, intellect, and emotion, composed diverse physiological, intellectual, social, economic, political, moral, and spiritual needs, scientifically classified as Homo sapiens. Man is a complex organism, hindi lang katawan na kumakain at natutulog. Tayo ay binubuo ng tatlong mahalagang elemento. Una, the physical body. Ang ating physical na katawan na nangangailangan ng pagkain, tulog at pangangalaga. Ikadalawa, ang intellect. Intellect, ang ating utak na may kakayahang mag-reason, magtanong at maghanap ng katotohanan. Pangatlo, the emotions. Ang ating puso ay marunong magmahal, masaktan at magalak. Dahil sa tatlo na to, mayroon tayong maraming uri ng pangangailangan. Una, physiological. Kailangan nito ay ang pagkain, tubig at tulog. Pangalawa, intellectual. Ang kailangan naman nito ay ang pag-aaral, pagbasa at pag-isip ng malalim. Pangatlo, meron tayong emotional. Pagmamahal, pagiging kinikilala, pakikipagkaibigan. Social, pakikisama, pagiging bahagi ng grupo. Moral, pagiging matapat at pagrespeto sa kapwa. Spiritual, pananampalataya, pagmamahal, paghahanap ng kahulugan sa buhay. Scientifically, tayo ay Homo sapiens, ang species na may karunungan. Pero mas importante na ang bawat isa sa atin ay ipinanganak na unique. Walang katulad at talagang walang kapares na kahit ang mga twins ay iba ang kanilang pagkatao. At paano natin nabuo ang pagkataong ito? Dahil sa tatlong salik. Una, heredity. Ang heredity or ang dala nating genes mula sa magulang natin. Pangalawa, the environment, ang lugar at panahon kung saan tayo lumaki. Pangatlo is the culture, kung ano ang tradisyon or paniniwala at halaga na ating lipunan. So, person. Person ay galing sa salitang Greek na prosopon, na ang ibig sabihin ay must. So, bakit must? Dahil sa sinaunang Greece, ang mga aktor sa entablado ay nagsusuot ng mask para ipakita ang kanilang karakter. Pero naroon sa likod ng mask ang tunay na sarili. So, ganun din tayo. Minsan, may mask tayong sinusuot. Cool sa harap ng tropa, seryoso sa klase, masaya sa social media, pero sa likod ng mga yan, may authentic self tayong may kakayanang una. May kakayahan tayong magmahal ng walang kapalit, mag-isip ng malaya at kritikal, magpasaya ng may responsibilidad. At ito ang pagiging person, hindi lang tao sa pisikal na kahulugan, kundi isang may dignidad, kalayaan at kakayahang magmahal at mag-isip.
Philosophical views of man. In biological perspective, man is a complex being, fundamentally shaped by heredity, environment, and culture. We are capable of reason to use self-consciousness, language, and even religion. So in biological perspective, man is viewed as a living organism and part of the animal kingdom. In short, man is a highly developed animal shaped by biological processes. Next, we have classical perspective. Aristotle viewed man as a rational and social being, a political animal whose existence and flourishing are intrinsically linked to society and community. In classical perspective, this view comes from ancient Greek philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. In short, man is a rational being whose goal is to live a virtuous and meaningful life. And in Christian perspective, central to Christian thought is to believe that man is created in the image of God, Genesis 1:27, endowed with divine attributes that foster a sense of a single human family. So in Christian perspective, based on the teachings of Christianity and the Bible. In short, man is God's creation with spiritual dignity and an eternal destiny. Philosophical views of man. First, we have existentialist view. As Teilhard de Chardin asserted, man is being who possesses self-awareness. Heidegger further elaborated, stating that we are responsible for ourselves and all humanity, existing on a dividing line between past, present, and future. In existentialist view of man, man has no fixed nature at birth. Existence comes before essence. First we exist, then we define ourselves. So humans are free and must make choices. In short, man is a free self-creating being, responsible for his own life. Next, we have Oriental view. Many should emphasize man's inherent goodness with four beginnings. Jen Yi Li Qi. Buddha taught, freedom from selfness through love, while Confucius sought perfection through social harmony. In Oriental view of man, man is a part of a larger spiritual reality. The true self is connected to the ultimate reality. So life goal is self-realization, enlightenment, and harmony. So in short, man is a spiritual being whose goal is harmony and enlightenment. So last we have contemporary view. It is described as the multi-digital ground of creation. Man embodies physical, mental, moral, spiritual, and social dimensions, all intended to contribute to humanity's betterment and progress. So, in contemporary view of man, man is seen as a biological, psychological, and social being. It is influenced by science, biology, psychology, and sociology. Human behavior is shaped by environment, culture, and genetics. In short, man is a complex being shaped by both nature and society. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Mary Rose D. Quinones. So today, I will discuss understanding men, focusing on three important concepts, which is person, personality, and character. Understanding men, person, personality, and character is our understanding of ourselves and others form a foundation of ethical behavior. This presentation explores the distinct yet interconnected concept of a person, personality, and character, revealing how they shape who we are and how we interact with this world. So, this concept help us understand who we are, or how we believe and why we make certain moral choices, they also shape how we interact with other people in society. What to expect in this lesson? First, in this presentation, we aim first to explain what man is a person, and second is distinguish personality ethics from character ethics, and the third is evaluate our own personality and character. So these objectives will help us better understand ourselves and improve how we act towards others. Distinguishing personality from character. So first, a person. A person is a fundamental human being endowed with rational nature and free will, a gift, and a bright right. So, a person is a human being with a reason and free will. This means every person can think, decide, and choose what is right or wrong. Being a person is a gift and birthright, and it gives us dignity. So second is personality. Personality, observable trait, mannerism, and behavior that affects others. It develops through action, experiences, and habits. So personality refers to the observable trait of a person, such as behavior, manners, and habits. It is what people usually notice about us, and it develops through our experience and action. Character is an ethical entity reflecting choices of values and their conversation into practical goals. It's revealed over time through varying situations. So character is deeper than personality. It reflects our values and moral choices, and it is revealed over time, especially during difficult situations. So character shows who we are truly are, and not just how we appear. So sa character ay ito yung mas malalim kaysa sa personality. Ito ang tunay na ugali ng isang tao kapag walang nakatingin. So personality ethics versus character ethics. So first is character ethics. Character ethics focuses on foundational traits like integrity, humanity, and courage. These are universal principles that drive lasting behavioral change, like integrity and loyalty, self-control and patience, and justice and morality. So sa character ethics, it is focuses on core moral values such as integrity, humanity, courage, and justice. So these values guide our action consistently and lead to long-lasting behavioral change. So for example, include honesty, patience, self-control, and moral responsibility. Personality ethics emphasize skills and practices that affect public image, such as charm or positive outlook, often provides quick fixes but lacks deep, lasting impact, like communication skills, interpersonal strategies, and positive thinking. So, personal ethics is, on the other hand, focuses on skill and outward behavior such as communication skills, charm, positive thinking. So, while this can improve our public image, they often provide short-term results and lack deep moral foundation. In conclusion, personality may be easy to see, but character takes time to reveal. Good personality can make good impression, but strong character builds trust and respect. Therefore, it is important not only to prove our personality, but more importantly, to develop our character through good value and ethical choices.
Everyone, today I will discuss habits and their moral significance. A habit comes from the Latin word habere, which means to have. A habit is something is repeatedly do until it becomes part of our normal behavior. It is formed through repetition and becomes relatively permanent over time. So there are three main characteristics of habits. First is dominance. Habits control most of our daily actions because we repeat them often. They become our usual way of acting. Second is unconsciousness. We perform habits almost automatically without thinking too much. For example, saying thank you or brushing our teeth. Third is repetition. Habits are formed and maintained through consistent practice. The more we repeat an actions, the stronger the habit becomes. Now, when we talk about moral habits, these are habits guided by moral principles. They are not just repeated actions, but actions based on what is right and good. These habits shape our character and guide our ethical behavior. Now, let's talk about the benefits of moral habits. First, it reduces cognitive load. When we develop good moral habits, we don't need to think too much about small decisions. Doing the right thing becomes automatic, which frees our mind for bigger and more complex challenges. Second is it disposes us to act morally. Good habit makes virtuous actions easier and more natural. Even when situations are difficult, we are more likely to choose what is right because we are already trained to do so. Third is it creates consistency. Moral habits connect our values to our actions. They help us live consistently according to our principles. Without habits, it will be hard to live ethically every day. So as the quote say, what we do affects what we think. And consistency lead to changing our beliefs to match actions. This means our actions shape our beliefs. That is why forming good moral habits is very important.
Good day, everyone. Today, I will present Lesson 4, which discusses intellectual virtues and the effects of vices. In this lesson, we will understand what virtues are, differentiate intellectual and moral virtues, and examine how vices affect personal life and education. So what is virtue? Virtues are subset of person's good qualities. They are not innate like eyesight or height. Instead, virtues are acquired through constant practice and can be lost if not exercised. They are abiding or stable states of character, which means they are long-lasting. Virtues are expressed not only in our actions, but also in our intention, even in our virtue and the golden mean. So virtue is expressed in actions that avoid both excess and defect. It chooses the mean or middle ground between extremes. For example, a temperate person avoids eating or drinking too much, but also avoids too little. In the philosophy of Aristotle, this is known as the golden mean. The Latin phrase virtus stat in medio means virtue stands in the middle. Intellectual versus moral virtues. Virtues may pertain either to the intellect or to the will. Those that pertain to the intellect are called intellectual virtues. They help a person acquire knowledge and develop reasoning skills. Those that pertain to the will are called moral virtues. They guide proper conduct and contribute to the perfection of the whole person. In simple terms, intellectual virtues help us think well, while moral virtues help us to act well. 5 intellectual virtues. There are 5 intellectual virtues. There are understanding, science, wisdom, art, and prudence. Each one perfects a different aspect of our thinking and decision-making abilities. The first is the understanding, is the habit of knowing first principles such as do good and avoid evil. Next is science, is the habit of drawing conclusion from experience or evidence. Next is the wisdom, is the habit of understanding ultimate causes or deeper truths. Art is the ability to produce and create things like paintings or music. Prudence is the ability to choose wisely between alternatives such as for the future. The moral virtues build the character of a person. There are three main moral virtues: justice, virtue, and compassion. These virtues help shape our behavior and guide us toward a proper conduct. Justice is the virtue that inclines us to render to others what is due to them. A just person respects himself, worships God, and helps others. Justice promotes fairness and harmony in society. Fortitude is the virtue that gives us strength in facing danger and difficulties in life. In Filipino, we call it tatag ng kalooban. A person with fortitude is brave and firm. However, fortitude must be guarded by prudence. It is the prudent person who decided whether to take a risk or avoid it. Temperance is the virtue that regulates our passion in use of earthly goods. It ensures moderation and balance. In the teaching of Aristotle, temperance represents the golden mean, where nothing is done excessively or deficiently. So what is a vice? A vice is the habit of doing evil acquired through repeated wrongful acts. One single immoral act does not immediately form a vice, but repetition creates a bad habit. Vice is opposed to the virtue either by excess or by defect. Vice is opposed to prudence and justice. The vice is opposed to prudence including fraud, trickery, excessive cautiousness by the excess, and imprudence or impulsiveness by defect. Vices opposed to justice include disrespect, irreligion, and failure to fulfill obligations. These actions weaken moral integrity. Vices opposed to fortitude and temperance. Vices opposed to fortitude include recklessness by excess and cowardice by defect. Vices opposed to temperance include pride, lust, gluttony, hatred, and vanity. These vices show lack of moderation and self-control. The effects of vices on personal life are serious. They weaken character and destroy self-discipline. They damage a relationship and may cause guilt, regret, and inner conflict over time. Vices shape a negative personality. The effects of vices on education. In education, vices negatively affect learning. Lack of prudence leads to poor decisions. Lack of temperance may result in laziness. Lack of justice may lead to dishonesty. Without intellectual virtues, critical thinking weakens. Without moral virtues, discipline and integrity decline.